Hi, I'm Jesse, a professional product designer and ART certified Rhino operator. Today we're going to look at doing a bench out of laser cut slats. For this exercise we're going to start with sketching the item. Sketching the item is very important. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sketch the side profile because we only really need the side profile in order to get the shape of the item correct. You'll see this better when we start 3D modeling the item. Sketching is an excellent way of starting a project because it allows you the creative freedom to better understand the shape that you are trying to obtain. By 3D modeling first and not sketching, you run the risk of creating more work for yourself because it's harder to modify a 3D model than it is to resketch an item. So a series of quick sketches will quickly tell you the exact shape that you're looking for. And don't worry about sizes when you start sketching. You only have to worry about the shape that you're trying to achieve. Now for this project we're going to move over to Rhino. We're going to start off Rhino with a basic blank slate. We don't need anything in the scene to start off with. What I'm going to do is use the front view and I'm going to sketch the side profile of the bench. So I'm going to use the curve, freeform, interpolate points tool. This allows me to create three-dimensional curves that'll be useful in the creation of the shape of the bench. I don't have to be too specific about the actual shape just yet because with Rhino we can edit the control points in order to get the shape correct. So what I'm doing now is I'm varying my curves so that I get the correct shape for the bench. And while I'm varying the shape, I'm looking carefully at the overall shape to try and get the shape that we sketched. It's important to try and stick to the shape that we were trying to get, since otherwise it would make the sketching exercise completely useless. We can also delete points, which is useful, and I quite like this side profile now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this side profile and I'm going to paste it in situation. Now in order to get the entire bench to flow in a three-dimensional shape, we're going to have to create 3 profiles in order to make the loft work correctly. If we only had 2 profiles, it would extrude the one shape to the other without any three-dimensional shape to it. So what I'm going to do now is make minor changes to the shape that I already have. And remember, we copied this shape, so this is a separate curve. And what we're looking for is just to get a little bit of difference between the first shape and the next shape. Now that I've finished creating my profiles, I'm going to move them into their positions for lofting. So now you can see that we have them in position for lofting, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to mirror this shape around the central shape in order to get my third profile. We can create another profile for the other side, but for this exercise I'm just going to use the same profile as I used on the side. Now what I'm going to do is use the surface loft tool, and I'm going to go from this shape to this shape to this shape. Now that our seam is in the correct position and we've chosen the correct direction for the loft, we can go ahead and loft this item. I'm going to switch over to the ghosted mode to make it easier to see exactly what the object looks like. And there we have our bench, but we haven't finished yet because we want to create the laser cut profiles so that this bench can be laser cut out of steel and then assembled at a later stage. So in the top view, I'm going to select the curve from objects, contour tool, and we're going to select the entire shape. Then we have to select the direction, and then we can test and see if these iterations are close enough or too far apart. You can see here the contour tool automatically makes contours along the entire surface. Now what we're going to do to finish off this project is we're going to extrude the curves. So I select all the curves, and then from this menu I select the extrude closed planar curve tool, and you'll see that it extrudes all of the curves at once. I select the distance that I want to extrude them and press enter to engage the tool. And now you can see we have our laser cut profiles for our bench. Now, additionally, what we could do is we could create the structure that actually holds together these individual leaves. The main structure I leave up to you. That's how you want to do it. You can weld it together, use threaded rods and nuts and bolts, but that's your decision on how to finish off this project. Thank you very much for joining me during this project. I hope to see you again soon with more projects. Please subscribe and click on the links below.